Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine. In today's important video, we are going to see some of the important interview questions that are being asked in many companies. But before that, let us thank our subscriber who has collected these questions during his experience with multiple companies, and the credit should go to him. So if you want to thank the subscriber, don't forget to mention this comment section, and you can also like the video. So let us get started without wasting much time and see, how are the questions. Again, to remind, these are apart from the commonly asked interview questions. So for now, I'm not focusing on, the common questions that are, asked every time. So these are like uncommon questions we have not covered in our channel so far. So the first question to start, and that was asked in Infogain, was how to refresh a dashboard. Now, whenever we are working in real time, many times we want to reload the data or refresh a data and all, or maybe rerun a particular job and all. So there are multiple ways of doing that. So if you have your extract schedule, you can go that and run that, or you can also go to your Tableau, and you can also click on this to reload the data. So this will refresh or run an update on that, or you can right click on this data source and refresh it, so that Tableau reconnects and checks if there is any updated data and brings in the information for you. If at all you are using an extract connection which is available locally, you can also use this extract option, and you can use option from here to refresh the connection. So that option is also there. So you can answer all of these questions, or you can explain them in this way, so that he feels satisfied. So whenever you are getting a theoretical question, try to understand this question or this type of question. Whenever you are getting a theoretical question, try to explain as much as possible, so this will give you an edge. So now now understand guys, we are going through a very rough patch or very slow pace of interview hiring, right? Now interviewer wants to pick the best where demand is high, supply is less. So in that, how can we have an edge compared to others? Only by giving the explanation in a detailed manner. So here you can also give answer in a single line statement, or only one word also you can give. But I don't want you guys to do that way. Try to explain the scenario behind that. Try to explain what is happening behind that. How will a refresh work and all. So the more you explain, the better it will be for you also. Okay, from learning perspective also, you will increase your knowledge, and you will also gain confidence when you're talking in the interview. Okay, so and the interviewer will also feel good. Okay, this guy knows the concept behind this, so he will feel little confident, and he'll ask you more questions, and that way you can build a rapport with the interviewer and confidence in the role that you are applying for. So this is very important. I have seen many struggling in answering this, and that is where they are getting rejected. I've seen many things in last maybe 2 to 3 months. This is the major thing that I've seen. Many subscribers are answering the question, but not in a way that interviewer is explaining. They want you to explain the logic behind what you are telling. They are expecting you to know the working behind that. So if you're not aware of that, there are very glim chances that you might succeed. So I encourage all of you to try to learn more and more about how a concept is working in Tableau. So I hope you agree with that. Next is difference between padding and bookmark. So these two are very different concepts in Tableau. Padding means, like, say you have a space on left side, or you have a space on the right side of a particular string. Then in that kind of cases we can use padding. Okay, so there are two concepts here: padding and spacing. Sorry, padding means adding extra, trimming means removing the extra spaces here. So padding means maybe say, like, say I have 1 2 3 and all I have, but client want a 2 digit number, so I'm padding it with 01 02 03 04, like that. So you are adding an extra zero in front of your digit or whatever it is. So it is called as a padding. Bookmarking means anything that you are frequently visiting, you can mark that as a bookmark here. Okay, so this option is available in server as well, but here let me see where it is. I think okay, so you can comment where it is in the comment section. I'll try to bookmark. I'll try to add that in the description box for your information. So difference between live and extract, which is better? This was asked in HCL. Again, the above padding and bookmark was also asked in HCL. Okay. Uh, Live is a real-time connection to your data source. Okay, so whenever there is a change in the data, that data will be, reflected in your dashboard. And extract is a copy of data that you have taken at a particular point of time. Okay, so this is the main difference between live and extract. Okay, now which is better? This is always, depends on few factors that we need to consider. One is based on volume, because so you need to remember one point here. The performance of Tableau is directly dependent on the performance of your data source. Okay, if your database itself is slow, then Tableau will retrieve the results from your database slow, and it will load it slowly in the dashboard, and you might see a lag there. If your database itself is retrieving or giving the results faster, then you might not face such issues. So based on volume, one you can decide like whether you have to go for a live connection or extract connection, because if the volume is less, you can always choose for live. If the volume is very huge, you can always go for extracts. And extract is like, it will create a copy of the data. So when it is creating and saving, it saves in a tabular format. So what happens is Tableau will, next time Tableau will remember how it has stored the data, so that when any query is fired on that data, it knows how to, bring in the information in a very optimal manner. That's why the performance of extract is always better compared to your live connection. Okay, and the reading that we do here is a columnar reading in extract connection. That is why the extract connections are faster. What is TDE, and when does a file get saved in the .tde extension? Okay, so what is TDE? TDE is a Tableau data extract. Okay, so whenever you are trying to save, like say I'm going to Tableau here, and we are connected to, you see, live connection, right? So I'm trying to change it to extract connection, and I'm going to sheet here. Now this is saving as a Tableau data extract. You see here, it is getting saved as. So whenever you are saving the extract, it get saved as Tableau data extract or .tedf file. Okay, so this is something that you need to answer whenever this type of question is arised. Now, when will you use a scattered plot chart? So scattered plot chart is something that you use when you have multiple measures in, and you want to analyze that. So when you have multiple measures, because this makes, the reading of those, relationship or correlation between your sales and profit, or your quantity and profit, or your profit and profit ratio easier when you are plotting it on your chart. So that's why scatter plot chart we have measures. What is assumed referential integrity? So this was asked in Synechron. Okay, now when you are using joins, or whenever you're getting information from multiple tables, so sometimes Tableau might not know what to bring in and all, and how to bring or establish a relationship and all. So when you are telling that to use referential integrity, you are telling Tableau indirectly that you can expect at least one matching column between that. So that is when you will see, you know, uh, assumed referential option here. Okay. So again, this is very important. Assume referential integrity, where it is, should be somewhere here, because maybe, yeah. So that is your assume referential integrity option. How to change default aggregation of a measure? Okay, so to change a default aggregation of a measure, maybe you can click on the measure that you want, go to default properties, Under this, you have an option called as aggregation. From here, you can change the aggregation that you want. So currently it is a sum. So that's why when you bring in this field, it will always get aggregated as a sum. But if at all you want to change it to average, you can click on this default properties, aggregation and average. Now when I try to bring in this, by default will be average aggregation will be performed on the sales. Okay, so that is something that we need to remember. Now again, one important question that many might have asked you already. What challenges did you face while working in the Tableau, and how did you cope up with this? Now the challenges can change from multiple topics here, so that you might face challenges with respect to your design, with respect to your requirements or functionality or data points. All of this can be the challenging aspects in a project. Now for each phase, how are you going to work with different teams or multiple stakeholders to make your job easier? Okay, so I think I've already created a video on this. I'll try to paste the link. You can, maybe you can watch it, or if you need any video, you can definitely comment in the comment section here. Okay, now how to fetch last date of the last month. Okay, so again, I think I have created a video on this, but if at all you want me to create a video, so this is a scenario interview. Maybe you need to not truncate, use a date trunc function. Okay, and you need to bring in the month and then go back to the last date here. Okay, that way you need to go. Okay, how to fetch last day of the last month. Okay, if at all you want a video on this also, you can comment in the comment section. I'll try to prepare a scenario based interview question. Okay, so now difference between join, relationship and data blending, three important concepts of Tableau, all of them covered in one question. Okay, so join is when we are trying to bring in information from multiple tables. So we have join options like left join, right join, inner join and outer join. Relationships are, the latest additions in Tableau, where it is like a physical layer or logical layer, whereas your join is a physical layer. So automatically Tableau will establish a relationship between multiple tables, and it works and brings in the data. Okay, so these are like dynamic joins, or with your multiple tables. What is data blending? When you have multiple data sources and you are trying to bring in information from them, then data blending will come into picture. Okay, so these are the three important concepts that we must be aware of. Okay, from table below, show inner join and left join results. Again, this was asked in Infogain. So I think this was one of the most trending question in 2022, where they were giving you two tables and asking you to guess what could be the result for each join type. Okay, so this is also on the similar line. So here maybe we can explain what will happen when we are doing an inner join, like only matching records will come, and when we are doing a left to join, what will come? All the records of left to join or left table, and matching records from the right table. That is how the records will show up here in inner join and left join results. Okay, so this question I particularly want you guys to create two tables on your own. Okay, try to make a join and see how you are getting results, because there are very high chances that you might come up with this question in your future interviews. Okay, now next question was related to LOD, and this was asked in Capgemini. Okay, so here this was the LOD expression given, and he was asked to guess the output here. So I'm trying to build a view here to answer this. I'm taking category and subcategory here, like he has asked, and I'm taking sales here. and I'm dropping it here. Maybe I want to do it at sum here instead of average. So we have this. Now let us try to do what he said in the calculation, and we will see the result here. Okay, so I'm directly copying this LOD expression, and I'm creating LOD here, and here instead of category, it is category for us, and it is subcategory for here. Okay, and this is sales. Okay, it is containing error. What could be the error here? Leveler cannot contain table of calculations or the ATTR function. So Windows Max is not allowed. Okay, maybe he's trying to check if you know, because now see sum of sales, it is accepting, but when I'm trying to specify Max or something like that, it is not accepting. But if I try to do on top of this, like window max of this, okay, so maybe here also it is error. Okay, so technically speaking, if you see have read the error, table calculations are not acceptable in LOD expression. So that is what we need to tell in the interview. I think many of us don't know about this. See, level of detail expressions cannot contain table calculations or attribute functions or ATTR functions. That is why when you are using a window max function, it is not accepting the logic. Otherwise, it should work and bring in your sum of sales for at category for each category and for each subcategory. Okay, so click on apply and I can bring it and into the view. Should give us same results technically because it is also at a subcategory level. So you have a data source filter applied on extract connection in embedded data source. Now you have filtered countries to India. What will be visible in your workbook and dashboard? This was the question that was asked in Synechron. Okay, so let us try to again implement this before I directly answer the question. So I'm just clearing off everything. So what is that he's telling? You have a data source filter applied on an extract connection. Okay, so I'm just trying to change it to extract connection. Okay, and he's telling we have a data source filter. I'm adding an, so just to make sure what I'm doing is, okay, let us save this, and I'm going to sheet 1 here, and maybe to just to understand the data, I'll play or add these two filters. Okay, so we have 4 regions and 4 years. Fine. I'm going to my data source and I'm trying to add uh, a filter here on region maybe. Okay, and I'm taking only central and east. Click on OK. Click OK. So this is our data source filter. Now let us observe what will happen. Now if I go to my sheet, the data source filter is being applied. Now again I'm going back here and maybe I'll edit this, and now I'll add a filter on order date, and maybe I'll take only 2 years here. Click OK. OK. Click on sheet 1. You see, from your extract filters, we are getting these two uh, years, whereas from your data source filter, I'm getting these two regions. I think you now have got the answer for this question. You have a data source filter applied on an extract connection in embedded data source. Now you have filtered countries to India. What will be visible in your dashboard? Which means your data source filter will also be applied and your extract connection filters will also be applied, and what you have filtered in your data source filter, only those will be applied here, or only those will be visible. or India data will be visible here, to be specific here. Now, what will you do if the table you are using is now deleted and it is created by another name? So this was asked in Capgemini. Now again, this happens sometimes in real time when you are using multiple tables, or the table that you are working is deleted by a development team, or it got renamed or moved on to another table. There can be this type of scenarios that can happen. Now what will you do in that kind of situations? So assume here, if I go to Tableau, you are developing your report using this sample superstore. Now team has done some migrations and all, and all the data that was there in this, they have moved on to different table, or maybe they have decommissioned this table and they want you to use a new table. So what we need to do in that case? So to answer it in a simple one word, we need to replace this table with the new table that we are going to use. How can we do that? So first thing is, you need to add that table here somewhere. So I'm going to add the same sample superstore, and under my documents here, I'm just selecting that. And now there are two data sources you see here. Now you simply need to replace the connection. You can right click on this and you will see an option called as replace data source, and you can replace the connection. So this is the simple step you need to do. But what we need to take care behind the scene is, like, do you have all that you need in the table? All the columns you need are available in the table. You need to check that. Okay, is there any change in column names that you need to identify? If there is any change in the column names, then Tableau will not recognize that. Example, order ID is there. Instead of that order ID, they have renamed it as order number. Now Tableau will not know that order ID is order number. We have to go and tell. How can we tell that? You can always go to Tableau, okay, and you can click on any particular field that you want to, like say region is there, and here you will find replace references, and you can refer it to whatever the latest field is there. So in that way it will accept, and you should be able to resolve the issues. So all of those things you need to take care whenever you are trying to replace any connection. Any field becomes invalid, it is our responsibility to make it valid. And or any calculations that you are using, that also you need to you know make sure they become valid. Make sure you have all the actions intact whenever you are trying to change the data source. Okay, so these are the some of the checklist that you need to maintain while doing so. Okay, so why should I use LOD function? Okay, this was again asked in Capgemini. So why should I use an LOD function? Suppose if the level of data is different than the level of data aggregation I need, then in that situations I will use LOD expressions. Okay, the level of data in my view is different than the level of data aggregations I need, then in that situations I will try to use LOD expressions and I will try to answer. So there are different things then we can do using LOD. We can find out subtotals using LOD. We can use LOD functions to get the active customers or inactive customers or first customers, like that. All of that we can try to find out. Okay, so LOD is one of the very powerful functions in Tableau. Okay, so yeah, with that said, I think that's it from my side in this video. I hope you liked the video. If you do, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And let us not forget to thank our subscriber once again, because this is his hard work entirely. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye and have a good day.